ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Dan Patch Stakes. Okay, we're going to wait till we get a little bit more. We're good to go. Once again, welcome to Dan Patch Stakes Post Draw here at Hoosier Park for 2017. I'm Steve Cross. Alongside is Emily Gaskin.
We want to welcome you all here. Thank you guys all for coming for our live post draw for the 24th edition of our Dan Patch Stakes. We want to invite you to enjoy some food. We've got great food offerings. You can also get your favorite beverages at the Dan Patch Brew House, also at the Pegasus Bar as well. Soft drinks are available at the Pegasus Bar as well. But again, we're very excited to have you all here tonight. Very excited for the 24th edition of our premier harness race, the Dan Patch Stakes.
It is hard to believe that it's been this is the 24th edition of this signature event here at Hoosier Park, and a stellar field. We have we have 12 entries, and with including 2 also eligible should any of the 10 withdraw late. We do have that AE to move in, and so again, a very good field going postward on Friday. First post time is at 6:30. And what race will this be in the card?
This will be race 11.
Race
11 on the card.
Okay.
Yeah, so we've got some great specialty wagers to go along with our Dan Patch. As always, we'll have a guaranteed superfecta on the Dan Patch race. We'll also have a $15,000 Hoosier High Five for the night as well. So we're very excited. It will be the 11th race on the program. Wish TV will be out here doing a live 1-hour broadcast of our signature event, so we're very excited about that. I believe post time is about 9:50 there for the Dan Patch Stakes. So again, we want to invite everybody back out on Friday for the Dan Patch.
So there were 23 nominations. The way this works, the horses are nominated earlier in the year. There were a total of 23 nominations for the Dan Patch 2017, of which the 12 have been entered. And based on the lifetime earnings is how they separate those 23 nominations for the 12 that have been accepted. So with the lifetime earnings, we have what, 11.8 million in lifetime purse earnings for the 2017 field. That's pretty sporty.
It certainly is. The fastest, some of the fastest older pacers in North America will be right here at Hoosier Park on Friday. Interestingly enough, for the second consecutive year, we've actually seen a supplemental entry to the Dan Patch. So this year, Rock and Roll World, the connections of that pacer have supplemented that horse. So that's a $25,000 supplemental fee. So interestingly enough, the purse will actually be elevated to $325,000. That's the second consecutive year we've seen that happen in the race. Like you said, 23 were nominated, but with that supplemental fee, he was actually had higher lifetime purse earnings than a few of the nominations. That's why we see the also eligibles. But again, the purse will be an elevated $325,000 for the second consecutive year.
And for the second consecutive year, we will not only see 1 but 2 Indiana side horses in this event. Last year we saw, of course, last year it was an exceptional year. We had the likes of world champion Wiggle Jiggle Always Be Mickey, and then also, of course, Freaky Feet Pete. Those were the 3 Indiana side horses of 2016. This year, in 2017, we see Freaky Feet Pete returning, and Rock and Ron from the Ron Burke barn will make his first start in the Dan Patch. Well, not his first Dan Patch start, I should say.
Yes, and interestingly enough, actually 5 horses in the field own wins over the Hoosier Park surface, so they are familiar with the Hoosier Park surface. And a number of those horses, like you said, we got a little spoiled last year with the aged pacers,
right,
but a number of those actually returning. All bets off. Wakizashi Hanover, Delta Winner, and Freaky Feet Pete all raced in the 2016 edition of the event. They're back for Vengeance in 2017.
And that bodes well when you see the connections coming back. That obviously tells them they liked what they experienced last year here at Hoosier Park, and they want to come back for more.
Yes, very much so. And like you said, just a very competitive field. Last year we saw some horses that maybe stood above the field.
Right.
I think this year is a very competitive field, and very much looking forward to. That's why I think the post draw is going to be extremely important.
Well, this time we're going to turn the mic over to the Vice President and General Manager of Racing here at Hoosier Park, Mr. Rick Moore, for a few words. Rick?
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Emily. 24th edition. It's hard to believe. I've got some acknowledgments and some introductions that I would like to make. First and foremost, our 2 gentlemen that couldn't be here today due to their busy schedules, but without these 2 gentlemen, days like today wouldn't take place here at Hoosier Park. And I'm speaking of Rod Ratcliffe, our chairman and CEO, and Jim Brown, our president and COO. Their contributions to Indiana horse racing are too numerous to be recited today, and specifically their impact on harness racing goes unparalleled. And I think anyone who knows anything about harness racing in Indiana would acknowledge that without Rod and Jim, we would not be here where we are today. So I'd like a big round of applause for Rod Radcliffe and Jim Brown. I also want to thank the mayor of Anderson, Mr. Tom Broderick, for being with us today. Mayor, thank you so, so much. Deputy Mayor and Board of Works, David Ikes is with us today. And David, so good to have you. I will tell you, I'm so pleased that Tom and David could break away. There's so many good things going on in the city of Anderson. And congratulations to both of you gentlemen for what you're doing to this city. This city is on the move, no question about it. And your energy and your commitment to the city is unquestioned. And we thank you for all that you do. I want to thank my colleague and Vice President and General Manager of Gaming, Michael Facenda, for being with us today. Michael, thank you so much. And President of the Indiana Standardbred Association, and I'm proud to say my friend Jack Kenninger and his wife Jerry are with us today. Jack and Jerry, thank you guys so much for being here today. Dave McGee, one of the judges from Indiana Horse Racing Commission, is here with us today to oversee the draw. Dave, thank you for being here also. And I want to recognize, gentlemen to my right here, Mr. Scott Piney, our Director of Racing and Racing Secretary, for putting together not only an exceptional Dan Patch Stakes race, but an unbelievable card from start to finish come Friday night. 14 exceptional races. Scott, I know you've worked very hard, and trust me, I know what a difficult job and thankless job you have. But congratulations on a great card for Friday night. And I want to thank Rick Teverball from the Herald Bulletin for being with us today. Rick, thank you all for being such a strong supporter of Hoosier Park and your coverage of Hoosier Park throughout the years. So very much appreciated. 24 years. I remember when we put this race together. Back in 1994, I believe we had a purse of $40,000. We scraped that together. Our purses for every evening that first meet averaged $27,000. Those purses now average $150,000 a night, and the Dan Patch is worth $325,000. So have brought this event to major league status, not only here, but throughout North America. And the eyes of harness racing will be on Hoosier Park come Friday night, and we aim to put on a real big show for all. So with that, I think it's time for the post draw. Let's see where these horses wind up landing when they go behind the starting gate come Friday night. Scott? Emily, back to you.
All right, thanks. I'm going to hand it over to Steve, who's going to be announcing while Dave McGee and Scott Piney do the official draw.
Okay, so this is how it will work. Our Hall of Fame driver and judge, Dave McGee, will be drawing a horse's name. Scott Piney will then be drawing the pill from the bottle, and we'll take it from there. And after we have and Emily will be posting the horse's name in conjunction to obviously the numbers on the board there. After which the morning line odds will be made, and we'll make that present as well. So Dave, if you will, first horse, Waukesha Hanover, drawing post position 10. That is a trailing starting position here at Hoosier Park. Waukesha Hanover, post number 10. Rock and Ron draws post position 8. Rock and Ron, post position 8. Rock and Roll World, the Indiana sire pacer. Post position 7. Rock and Roll World, the supplement entry, draws post 7. McWicked draws post position 3. McWicked from post 3. Manhattan Beach. Post position 5, winningest post position in harness racing. Manhattan Beach draws post 5. Freaky Feet Pete, the local favorite here, fan favored, draws post position 4, right beside Manhattan Beach. Freaky Feet Pete draws post 4. Dr. J. Hanover. Post position 6, Dr. J. Hanover, post position 6. Delt A winner. There it is, post position 1. Delta winner drawing post number 1 for the Mark Silva barn. Check 6. Post 9. Check 6 drawing post position 9 from the Ron Burke barn. All bets off. Post position 2. Post position 2 for all bets off. So let's go from the top of the of your sheet here, and we'll look at the post positions once again. Well, let's just go from the post positions on the board there. Post number 1, Delta winner. Delta winner drawing post position 1 for Aaron Merriman. The drivers are pending, obviously. Post position 2 going to all bets off. The $2 million winning Son of Bettor's Delight with Matt Kakele. Post position 3, McWicked and Emily. Here's a horse that we saw last year knocking heads with all the top pacers in the country. And this year, Delta winner. McWicked, the 3-horse with driver David Miller. He, of course, a Hall of Famer as well. He's won 6 of 17 and is just shy of $2 million. They'll start from post number 3.
Yeah, I think this is really going to make things interesting. He has quite a bit of gate speed, and so I think the inside post draw certainly going to make things interesting. David Miller, no stranger to the Hoosier Park surface for trainer Casey Coleman.
Freaky Feet Pete drawing post number 4, and he is fresh off of a win, his first of the season right here at Hoosier Park. And Freaky Feet Pete, of course, a world champion in his own right, with a mark of 147-1 and earnings at $1.5 million. He has regular pilot Trace Tetrick aboard, and this will be the second consecutive year for Freaky Feet Pete in the Dam Patch.
Yeah, I think this you can't be any happier with post position 4. His connections have to be extremely excited. Post 4 for Freaky Feet Pete. He started from post 2 last year in the Dan Patch edition. He ultimately finished 7th, I believe, 6th in the Dan Patch last year. But again, post 4, while post 5 is the winningest post position, I have to believe post 4 is right there behind him.
And I would have to surmise that the connections of the 5, Manhattan Beach, will be pleased with their post position. They ponied up some good money earlier in the year to buy this champion pacer. Manhattan Beach has been racing here at Hoosier Park. He also was in the Graduate earlier in the season, and he comes in with driver Sam Widger pending aboard here from the Walter Haynes Jr. barn.
Yeah, this horse really going to need to step it up as far as this race is concerned. Like you said, he does have some local success. He does have familiarity over the Hoosier Park surface, and like you said, post 5, the winningest post position. So he certainly has a lot of things in his favor as far as home turf advantage and post position advantage.
Now the fastest horse in the field here this year, and as I look down through the entire field of 10 here, the fastest horse in the field is the 6-horse Dr. J. Hanover with a record of 146-4 at Mohawk, a 7/8 mile oval earlier this year.
Yeah, and we talk about it time and time again. I think the Mohawk speed translates pretty well to the Hoosier Park surface. That was a world record performance for him. So speed certainly not a question for this horse, and going to be his first start over the Hoosier Park surface. He's yet to start at Hoosier Park, but like we talked about, Mohawk, one of those tracks that seems to translate well to the Hoosier Park surface. Tony Alanya, always a big supporter of the Hoosier Park events.
Now, one horse that has started on the Hoosier Park surface, in fact, won his very first Hoosier Park start, the 7-horse Rock and Roll World. He took a record of 148-3 earlier the season here at Hoosier, and he's been going up against some of these other horses in open stakes company since that start. And well, his connections thinking enough of this horse to pony up a supplement here, and increasing the overall purse to 325,000.
Yeah, and I think this horse fits very well in this field. Like you said, he's a well-traveled horse, but he does have quite a bit of success over the Hoosier Park surface. Not often you see a 5-year-old set a new lifetime best, and that's what he did here at Hoosier Park. So this is kind of a horse for the course. He loves the long Hoosier Park stretch, and he does have home court advantage here. Jeff Cullifer, obviously a local trainer here, so he's been over the surface, and I do like that he raced. I thought he raced well in that Sam McKee Memorial. It was a mile and an eighth, kind of the victim of a tough trip there, but he gets John along in the bike.
One horse that shows extreme early speed. In fact, he used that early speed in his last start, the 8-horse Rocket Ron, using that early speed at Yonkers, of all places, on a half-mile track. From post number 6, he went gate to wire there, but he used an opening quarter of 26-3. Now that's wicked speed on a half-mile track. As soon as the gates folds, you have the first turn in front of you here at Hoosier Park, obviously, well over an eighth of a mile before the first turn comes into play. So Rock and Ron, post 8, is that going to be a bit of a concern?
I certainly think so. This is one of 3 Ron Burke horses in the field. Ron Burke won the 2014 edition of the Dan Patch with Sweet Lou. Actually, Sweet Lou still holds the Hoosier Park track record and a Dan Patch track record. I think it's going to be interesting to see, how the race shakes out, especially with Rock and Ron from post 8. And, of course, speaking of Ron Burke and the race shaking out, when I first looked at the field, Steve, I have to be honest, a check 6 was atop my list as far as handicapping is concerned, but I may have to rethink that from post position 9 here.
I don't think you do, though, Emily, because if you look at that last start, the Sam McKee Memorial at the Meadowlands, yes, they did go a mile and an eighth, and he did come from off the pace, winning, drawing away by 2, so he shows that he has a good kick at the end, and with a long quarter-mile stretch here at Hoosier Park, post 9, that might bode well for him.
Yeah, certainly could. And, this is a horse that has won over the Hoosier Park surface. He won as a 3-year-old here at Hoosier Park in a Grand Circuit event with Yannick Gingras in the bike. So he certainly knows his way around the Hoosier Park surface. Again, just going to have to overcome that tough post position 9.
Well, the final horse in the field, a horse that we saw race last year here at Hoosier Park, didn't fare as well, perhaps, finishing, 7th by some 9 lengths, that being a Waukesha Hanover. He has future Hall of Famer, I should say, Tim Tetrick aboard. Post 10 might not be all that bad, I guess. Post 10 versus post 8 or 9, that is up in the air, obviously. There would be obviously a lot of conversation about the advantages, perhaps, of a post 10 versus the 8 or 9. But Waukesha Hanover making his 20th start and his return visit to Hoosier Park for the Dan Patch.
Yes, and he was victorious at Hoosier Park as a 3-year-old in a division of the Jenna's Beach Boy against Freaky Feet Pete. So, like you said, post position 10, everyone has their opinion about it. A lot of times it just depends how the race shakes out, and I don't think it's all that bad for a horse like this who does have some late closing ability, and, of course, Tim Tetrick in the bike.
So now, if any of these horses scratch out for any reason whatsoever, we have 2 also eligibles, Mad American and Lions Snyder. Those will be AE1s and AE2, and so they'll be on call, if you will.
Yes, very much so, and they will draw into whichever horse scratches out, correct? Correct.
Okay, very good. Well, I know Rick has been working feverishly over there with his morning line odds. Looks like he is ready to unveil the morning line for the Dan Patch 2017, Rick.
I had to do a lot of late changes, Steve, based on the post positions. I will tell you that a horse that I had 3rd choice is now my top choice.
Wow. Okay.
And that will be all bets off at 7-2. All bets off will be the morning line favorite at 7-2. I actually had him 3rd choice, but again, with the post position draw, changed my thinking.
Sure.
My original morning line favorite was check 6. With that 9 hole, I've made him 4-1. And after that, maybe you'll go on down, 1 on down. Emily, Delta winner, 15-1. McWicked, 5-1. Freaky Feet Pete, 8-1. Manhattan Beach, 30-1. Dr. J. Hanover, 10-1. Rock and Roll World, 10-1. Rock and Ron, 6-1. And Wakasashi Hanover, who was my second choice, is now the third choice on the morning line at 9-2. That's your rundown on the morning line, Steve.
All right, Rick. Well, I certainly don't envy you. This is a tough task. Having been in your shoes many times in the past, when you have a field that is this equally matched, post positions do play a big factor.
Well, when it comes to the bettors, absolutely it does, and when it comes to the racing, it does. And let's face it, this is an evenly matched bunch here. And in the past, maybe we've had one or two standouts. Well, we've got a lot of standouts in this race, Steve. And I think this is anybody's race. Look, when you make a horse 7-2 as your morning line favorite,
right?
You know it's a very lukewarm morning line favorite,
right.
And it says that this race is wide open.
Well, all bets off. If you look at a horse that certainly has the luck of the draw, looking at his past performances here, he has drawn no worse than post 3 in his last 5. So post 2, he looks like he's done very well from there. And he's amassed well over $250,000 thus far this year from the Ron Burke barn. So, yeah, lukewarm morning line favorite.
But an ideal post, Steve. He can really do whatever he wants. I think as far as getting a position, he can go to the front or he can get a good pocket trip. I think, he really, with Yannick Ingra driving, he's kind of got the inside track as far as getting a great position in the race.
Surely does. Now, there will be no betting entries, correct? Everyone is...
No, thanks to the Indiana Horse Racing Commission, we no longer have entries in the state of Indiana. And, in this day of dwindling field sizes and dwindling foal crops, we need every betting interest we can get. And this is a great move by the Racing Commission, and want to thank them for their forward thinking here in Indiana.
Okay, very good, Rick. Well, thank you for your diligent work there, and we will make those post positions and morning line odds known here. They'll be posted on via press release, and we'll be talking more about that on the night drive here in a few minutes.
Emily?
All right. Well, once again, we want to thank everyone for joining us. Anybody have any questions or any comments that they would like to make before we send us off? Questions, comments? We got trainer Jeff Culver in the house. We can put him on the spot. No questions? We do want to thank Jeff for taking time out of his busy schedule to join us here today as far as the post draw is concerned. We got a few things that we want to remind you as far as the Dan Patch is concerned. We're going to have a great festival weekend in true Hoosier Park fashion. We're going to have all sorts of great things, family fun to go along with the Dan Patch. As we said, some guaranteed wagers. We've got some great entertainment that'll be out in the yard and all sorts of great things. And Steve, one thing that we're really excited to do this year is, of course, kick off the Dan Patch with our championship season.
Right.
And a lot of people don't know this, but the Dan Patch will kick off our championship season, which is a $14 million season. And we're basically naming August 11th through November 4th our championship season. It's the richest season in Indiana history. We're going to be offering the most purses in Indiana history right here at Hoosier Park this season, and of course culminating with the 2017 Breeders' Crown events.
I like to equate it with the Grand Circuit coming to town. Equate it to that the likes of maybe the PGA Tour. They're bringing the very best of the best into town, and then of course the Breeders' Crown would be like bringing the Olympics to the town of Anderson, city of Anderson. That's pretty big stuff.
Yes, and really there is no better time in Indiana racing. We named the season It's Indiana's Time, and really as far as Indiana harness racing is concerned, there's no better time to be a part of Indiana racing than right here in 2017.
It's been 3 decades since we have seen the Breeders' Crown of the Midwest.
Yes.
First time ever here at Hoosier Park.
Yes, it'll be the first time ever. Of course, October 27th and 28th. You're all invited, and we hope to see you guys all back out here. But not only with that, we've got all sorts of great Grand Circuit stakes leading up to that. And Rick, you have a question.
Jeff, when did you and owner Tom Pollock decide you were going to supplement your horse into the Dan Patch? And for those who don't know, it cost Jeff and Tom Pollock $25,000 to supplement into the Dan Patch Stakes.
So the question is, when did you guys make the final decision to supplement?
11:30 this morning.
11:30 this morning.
Wow.
Now, I
Late
do want to
minute
know,
decision.
yes. Was it, I know it was probably a joint decision, but, was it any coaxing on your part or maybe Tom's part? Was the one party maybe more interested than the other?
No, it was a team.
Team effort. I like it.
One question for you, Jeff. When you purchased this horse back in, I believe it was February, correct? Was the Dan Patch one of the stakes that you were pointing at this horse to? Did you have that obviously in the back of your mind that this is a stake that you would like to participate in with this horse?
Oh, we was definitely bummed that we wasn't eligible to it without the supplement fee, but
Right.
yeah, we had it in mind.
Right. You knew that if he was sound, if he was good, you would probably be supplementing the horse to the stake. So, very good. One question for these two gentlemen up here. We looking at the list of drivers here. We're still needing a driver in Dr. J. Hanover, and providing that the rest of these drivers all agree to the task at hand here. When will the, as we call it, the board be cleared? When will we know who will be driving Dr. J. Hanover?
It has to be done by 2:45 tomorrow afternoon.
2:45 tomorrow afternoon. We will know who will be driving Dr. J. Hanover and if there's any other driver changes.
That's correct.
Okay. Very good.
And is that the same for the scratches as well? If there's any scratch, when do the also eligibles move in, or when's the last moment that the also eligibles can move in?
Scratch time is also 2:45.
All
Very
right,
good.
there we go.
Very good. Any
Jeff
other
is
questions?
never coming back to a post draw, I'm sure.
Any other questions out there?
All right.
All right, very good. Well, on behalf of Emily Gaskin, Rick Moore, and everyone else at here at Hoosier Park, thanks for joining us for the Post Draw 2017. Hope to see you all back here again Friday evening for the 24th edition of the Dan Patch.